All right, guys, in today's video, we are talking about whether or not you should change your company or your career or even potentially your industry. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie. I am a coach at Career Sprout, where on average it takes us about 63 days to help somebody transition into a new job and grow their salary by $37,000 on average. So in today's video, I've got 4 people specifically who have been on my mind because I've had conversations with them over the last week. Now, 2 of them were past students, or once you're a Career Sprout student, you're a student for life at the moment. And so they came back through and they were going through, they were ready to level up again. They got a new job, whatever it was, 2-3 years ago in some cases. And they're now in a position where they are ready to make the next jump in their career. Now, with these individuals, very interesting. One of them, they were somebody they're in sales, they want to stay in sales, but they just want to go to the next rung. Pretty straightforward process there. That's one where they know the growth that they want to attain is not in their company, but they're very happy with their career path. So this is somebody very simple, very straightforward. They are just going to change companies. They don't need to change their career. They don't need to change their industry, just a company switch. Easy peasy. That's what most people up until now, I would say, that's how most people were. Something very interesting though, there has been a massive exodus. What I would say used to be a very small percentage of folks that came to us has now become a third. Some months, even a half of the people that come to us are people who think they need a career pivot. Whether it is, a 30 years old crisis, midlife crisis, whatever the case may be, we have folks coming to us who they think that they want to completely change their career. So here are a couple of steps that we'll walk through with somebody who thinks, hey, I need to change my career or I need to completely change my industry. So step number 1, always where we start, is taking an inventory. Now we've got a couple of assessments that will allow us to get some quantitative data that's really nice. Reach out to us if you want access to one of those. But some just simple things that you can do is sit down and write out, what are all of the things that I have done that I have hated in my life, in my professional life, even in your personal life. Sometimes that gives you some hints too. What are all the things that I hate doing? Then once you've got that list, the next list is going to be, what are all of the things that I have loved doing? What are the things that I'm really proud about? The things that when I look back on, I can't help but smile when I think about it. I am so proud of it. Oftentimes, these were not easy things, don't get me wrong. Oftentimes, these were things that you had to probably get through some stuff, struggle through some things. You were challenged, but you figured it out and you accomplished something that you feel really great about. Make a list of those things. Now, once you've got that list, a really interesting activity to do is to look at the commonalities. What are your weaknesses? Oftentimes, those are the things that we do not enjoy. Those end up being our weaknesses. Then what are your strengths? Then asking yourself, and you may not know this, and this is where it's extremely beneficial, in my opinion, to have a coach, have mentors who have been where you want to, who have what you want in life. Have some folks that you can talk to and find out, hey, what are the roles that are best suited for these things? What are the roles where, 50 to 90% of my job can be doing these things that I love, working on these projects that I love. Now, once you've got that, it's very possible that when you're looking at this list of potential career paths that match these strengths, it's very possible that you look at your job description or job descriptions from other companies with, your job title, and you think, what the heck? I should be happy doing this. This job is perfect for me. That's when it's very, very possible that you do not need a career pivot. You just need a company, oftentimes a culture change. And one of the biggest ways people are doing that right now are people who are in government. There's been a big movement of government, healthcare, lawyers, and even educators. There's been a really big shift we've seen from those 4 sectors of people who they got into their careers because they loved the job, but they're undervalued, they're underpaid, they're overworked. The culture is just not conducive to the life that they want to live. And when that happens, what's really interesting is you oftentimes don't need a career pivot so much as an industry pivot. Oftentimes those folks who fell in love with a job, but now it's not what it used to be, is what it feels like. Those are folks that can usually take that experience and transfer it into a tech company, that whether it's an IT company, a software company, even some finance companies, to be frank, they can typically transfer that industry knowledge into a tech company and make exponentially more money in a culture that's better suited for them and their personality, their strengths, their natural tendencies, all of those things, and still feel like they're fulfilling their life's mission without being, another big one is like artists. Like it's almost like a starving artist mentality where people think if they want to do good in the world, if they want to have an impact, if they want to serve a certain type of people, well, you're just, you're committing to being a starving artist, essentially. That doesn't have to be the case. Even artists, there's a lot of folks, we've got one partnership with, where we've worked with quite a few artists recently who now are realizing, oh, I can be a brand manager. Oh, I can go into the tech space. I can be a UX designer. There's all these jobs within the tech industry now that allow you to do what you are really passionate about. And you're able to make those pivots, make those switches into those industries, sometimes in a new career, sometimes just same job, different industry. And because you're bringing all of this knowledge that you have, you can even skip rungs on the ladder, or even if you want to just make a slightly lateral, or just, maybe a one rung up, you have a resume that will make you stand out from everybody else because you have all of this knowledge. Now, there's two people in particular that I'm thinking about, current students of ours, where this is the case. They each have their own story, but one of them is somebody who she's got this, she's very good at what she does, but then there was leadership that changed and suddenly she didn't like the company anymore. Suddenly she didn't like the job. Now that's somebody that most likely does not need to jump into a brand new career. That's somebody that likely needs to move to a different department within the company or just move to a different company and do something very similar. Now there's somebody else who is along the lines of more so what we've just been talking about in the second half, where they were undervalued, underpaid in their sector, and now they're looking at, okay, how can I make the jump into tech? What does that look like? Now, the really cool part about making that jump is oftentimes it's people go into tech who are very innovative and they want to solve problems. That is, as a general rule, not always, but as a general rule, that is the case of the tech world. And it's so awesome to see these folks make the jump and go from someplace that was very structured, stifled by rules, not conducive to massive, quick growth. Seeing these people who wanted to grow, who have that energy, who want to win, who want, they're very competitive, seeing them just doing very similar job, but in a brand new culture where the people around them are all winners or who are all striving, to accomplish something together. Oftentimes just making that transplant into a new industry doing the same job is exactly what that person needed to feel completely fulfilled in their life, in their work. So that is a couple of things for you to, a couple of options for you to think through before you make a pivot. Is it possible that it's just not the right company, not the right leadership, not the right culture for you? And if that's the case, what are your different options? What are the different sectors, whether it's in tech or whatever the case may be, that could use your industry experience, that it could be a really massive benefit for you? Now, think through those questions. If you've got any questions as you're going through it, of course, feel free. You can comment below, email info@careersprout.com, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. But with that, hope you guys are having a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.